Good. Thanks for being here this morning. We got back in late last night from a road trip to Notre Dame, and you play a team at that level while we're still sort of in our infancy as a team, and it's humbling. Notre Dame was extremely well coached, great athletes who play together extremely well, had a great game plan all the way around, and some really good bright spots to take from the game. But as we said after the Georgia Tech game, where we're still struggling is the consistency, the ability to be able to really lock in and play well for longer stretches. Notre Dame also has lapses. And after a game like this, it's really, really obvious to me their lapses they minimize very, very well, and they maximize their advantages. And that's where we have to learn. We're never going to be a perfect team. Notre Dame's not a perfect team, but it's a great, great image of they play the game a lot. Very, very similar to the way we play the game. At this point, they're just better at it right now. They've got some players that are excellent. Their game plans are excellent. So, like I said, it was a great learning experience. And what's awesome about this team and about this staff is there really is a feeling of excitement. Even though we got back in the middle of the night last night, they can't wait to get back in the gym today. There's kids already asking to come in and watch film and find out what we can do to make the next step.
With ACC having started, how has your young team kind of made some adjustments maybe in the Notre Dame game? What were those bright spots that kind of popped out to you?
Yeah, well, if you look back at last week, we played Georgia Tech, who's more our level, and Georgia Tech's very, very good, but they're also young. They're putting some pieces back together. They graduated some really, really good players, and that game went down to the wire. We put up 77 points. Unfortunately, we give up 80. They've got a great player in Kayla Davis who made some amazing shots. Put up 27 points against us. And again, when you're playing teams at that level, Notre Dame has a player, Brianna Turner, who the women's game really hasn't seen a player for a while that's as long as she is, that jumps as well as she does. And Notre Dame's throwing her alley-oop passes. Kayla Davis is a player for Georgia Tech who can raise up, and you can't really stop her from shooting. You just have to be able to make their lives more difficult. And what a great experience for us. It's really almost more like an NBA scout, and a lot of our young women haven't played against players that can do some of those things. So, for us mentally, you have to get out of your head that, wow, that kid can make this amazing play. Hey, good for her. Guess what? I can do amazing things too. May not look exactly like the things that she's doing. So, there's a huge mental and approach component for us that those games expose. They bring forward in us, and again, it's. I'm a teacher, and I look at it. There's no way to learn it just by hearing me talk about it or watch it on film. You have to go out and do it, and that's what experience does.
And Nicole Boudreau and Ashley Kelsick have had two really strong games. What do they bring to this team, and what else do they need to do in the future to continue?
Yeah, those two players in particular, Ashley Kelsick and Nicole Boudreau, have a fearlessness to them. So I think in your last question, you asked me about some of the things about the ACC. It's sort of that wow factor, playing against the best teams in the country. We're playing in front of 9,000 fans. Last night at Notre Dame. Those two don't seem to blink an eye, and it's really it's fun to watch them just go out and compete. Now, hey, does Nicole need to be able to figure out how to guard Jewell Loyd, the best player? Does Ashley need to be able to figure out how to run our offense and be a real point guard at this level? Yeah, neither one is a perfect player. But I got to give both of those two players credit that there's no fear. They will go compete with anybody, and that's inspiring to the rest of our players. And I think the rest of the team can feed off of that energy. And again, I'm so proud of the fight in those guys.
You hit the road again on Thursday to play at Virginia. What do you expect to see from UVA?
Yeah, we've had a great series with UVA. Going back for our first two seasons back here at BC, where we've split games both years and upset them in the conference tournament our first year. That was a really good home win for us here last year. But then they beat us in the conference tournament. So look, Joanne Boyle's a great coach. She's got a very, very good young team. I expect them to be a lot like Georgia Tech in that they're not going to be maybe the well-oiled machine that Notre Dame is. But they're very talented. They're very well coached. They've got an amazing center in Sarah Movio, who's just a great rebounder. They've got a big, strong, again, prototypical ACC guard that we're going to have to contend with on the perimeter. And look, it's a great challenge. And that's what's fun about the ACC is every night Every night you're going to play some of the best players in the country, you've heard me say it lots of times before. That's what I signed up for. I want to be here. I know that we've got players that feel the same way, and hey, we're just trying to make that next step so that we can go win these games and put BC back where it belongs.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck at Virginia.
Thanks so much.